The Greek Prime Minister says his government will stand its ground until its creditors are more realistic about austerity cuts. It follows the breakdown of talks with its international creditors, with European Union officials claiming Greece has not made the required concessions to secure ongoing funding. It needs to repay more than €1.5 billion to the IMF by the end of this month. Jens Bastian is an Athens-based economist and was previously part of the European Commission task force for Greece. He joins us on The World. Jens, great to have you with us again.
Thank you for having me.
How precarious is this standoff?
It's very serious, and it could possibly, if it continues to be a standoff without a compromise, any solution, an agreement, it could have very dire consequences, in particular for Greece and the solvency of the state.
Do you think Greece is calling the bluff of the IMF and the EU, believing that they won't let them leave the Union, that they won't, let a crisis like this happen?
I'm not sure about that. Here, Greece may actually be underestimating the determination of the international creditors and in particular its European partners. I wouldn't want to test that proposition. I would rather focus the remaining time and energy on trying to work out a solution. It's not a card game anymore.
Where are the solutions, do you believe?
I think in light of the fact that they don't have a lot of time and many have no patience anymore with Greece, focus on the essentials. Try and identify 2-3 key reform areas that you can agree on for the next 2-3 months. Identify some bridge finance for Greece in order to meet its international obligations. And then look at the bigger picture again after the summer.
Do you think the Greek government is sort of out of options in trying to balance, though, the expectations of the Greek public themselves and how much more that they can cope with?
It is very aware of what is happening in Greek society in terms of the social consequences, the catastrophic situation of the labour market, and it received a strong political mandate after the elections in January of this year. And hence it adheres to that mandate. But still, you need to work out a compromise and you need to identify when is the time appropriate for that compromise. You cannot continue with a confrontational approach, in particular towards Germany.
Of course, and you mentioned Germany, which is so critical in terms of Greece's fortunes. But you do get the sense that there is a kind of, not blasé is the wrong word, but the sense that they do want to be defined, that they feel that they deserve more help.
In many ways, the government is trying to identify, look, the medicine of the past years hasn't worked. Let's not go into the detail why it hasn't worked, but we have to change course quickly. But you need to do that by having key creditors on side. The problem of the international creditors is that they do not speak with one voice. They do not play from the same hymn sheet. And hence my concern right now is we're losing time, we're running out of patience, Greece is running out of money, and at the end of the day, we will have a policy accident with dire consequences for Greece, but also for the integration process in the euro area.
And from the sounds of things, Jens, you would see this as probably the most critical time because we've heard this story play out now for some months. This seems to be a real critical point.
Beverly, you're absolutely right. This is endgame situation now. We will not have many more options and we will have less time moving forward. This week is deal week or make or break.
Jens, always good to get your insights. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Beverly.